Hello everybody, my name is Ray, and welcome to the UnWantedRay channel. This game fucking broke me, and I want to talk about it because I've tried to write the script 4 times, and every single time I go to write it, I learn something new about this game. And I think I finally have enough to finally put the nail in the wall and hang up this picture. So let's talk about it properly. One shot sees you playing Nico, a cat girl that is introduced in this broken, run-down, dark home, and you run through the game meeting a lot of people, discovering things about this world that you've been placed in, seemingly without your choice, since anytime that you fall asleep or you make Nico take a nap, you have memories of a different world. And that's because as you play along, you learn that Nico was brought to this world to be the Messiah, to bring light to a very grim, dark world. And for the longest time, after playing for the first time, I thought that that was it. I thought that that was the story. But oh boy, was I wrong. For the first time that you play One Shot, you get one of two endings. You either put the light bulb in the tower, or you break it. Either way, it is the quote-unquote sad endings, because there's no definitive choice made. You will end up back at the start either way. However, when you end up back at the start, Nico remembers you, but they don't know why. And well, when you go through the tower, you learn of a character that's working behind the scenes, that was before you, that tried to make a difference. And now they're guiding you. In your files, there's new things for you to explore. There's notes, there's documents. Just like how the first time you played through, there were puzzles that you had to solve using those documents. Now they're helping you in a different way. And that's where you get to the new true ending. And this is something that I played through on stream for the first time after doing my first playthrough on a different stream. And I learned something entirely new about this game. So for the longest time after my first playthrough, I believed that the story for the game was that in the real world, in heavy quotation marks, because let's be honest, there's no such thing as a real world anymore, or ever was, but I believe that the message of the game was there's no true resolution, and you just have to be okay with that. You just have to go along, because things will happen. There's no true ending where everyone is happy. Nico doesn't resolve all of her trauma, she doesn't return home, she doesn't stay with her memories, her friends. So there's no true resolution. That is until you get to the true ending. The thing that I've been slightly teasing. When you play through for the first time and you end up back at the start after completing one of the endings, and you read the notes on your computer, you are guided by someone to find a person, and that person is the prototype in the mines next to Silver's house, having Silver help you in an interesting way. She doesn't truly know what she's doing, however, she knows that there's something in the mines. And so, well, when you go to the mines and you stand in the right place and bring up the note, well, a minecart spawns, and then you find the prototype who tells you the truth about this world. It's all a game. There's a machine controlling this world so that things restart how they should be. That is why you ended up back at the start when you completed one of the endings. But he's not the only one. There's multiple other people, and as you make your journey through the game in an unfamiliar way, meeting all of those people, you get aided, but you also watch people get sacrificed for your cause. Something that will become important later on. Through all of those sacrifices of all of the friends that you've made along the way, you reach the end. And once again, through sacrifice, you come face to face with the machine of it all. The world machine. An artificial intelligence created by someone to keep this world in order so that it wouldn't be destroyed like its creator's world. But it went rogue because it wasn't tamed. A concept which wouldn't be explained until the literal end of the solstice ending, aka the true ending. A tamed robot is just one that has this pretended empathy, pretended human emotion, and if it is not treated like such, then it breaks down. That's why Silver has emotions. That's why Prototype has emotions. That's why all of the characters that pretend to be human have emotions. They are tamed robots. And it's this concept of a robot that can be tamed that leads to the whole catastrophe in the first place of Nico being trapped in a loop indefinitely just because you start the game up. The world constantly being at your mercy to do the quote unquote right choice, but there being no right choice because it ends up with you back at the start anyway. And this whole robot gone rogue just because no one could pretend with it. And at the very end, when you pretend with it, it no longer becomes pretending, it becomes real. And you get your true ending. You get your resolution. You get that happiness of going home and all of your friends still being alive. This game, and the reason it broke me, is because it teaches you the true value in trying. Something I feel has been lost in the modern era. And it truly shows just how ahead of its time one shot really was. In an era where it's so easy to just create something using artificial intelligence or having someone else do it for you and pay them barely anything, it goes to show just how much trying can come off as an actual achievement, and especially with people that have horrible mental health states. Literally proven by Nico always spawning back in a broken home. Just goes to show the mental state that Nico is in, even though she's a child, attached to someone else, unable to ever reach them. That is the state of the world as it is now. We are attached to, frankly, everything: technology, alcohol, smoking, vaping. It is just such a show that a game from so long ago has stood true and even become truer than just as time has gone on. And the real reason this game is as good as it is A, because of the storytelling, the way that it's so subtle, the way that it is so profound or so welly put together, and B, just because of how we as humans feel towards things. We get attached to things, we get attached to people, and as we get attached, sometimes we get hurt and we let go, just like World Machine had. But that's not a bad thing, just goes to show that if you surround yourself with the right people, aka all of the friends that helped out Nico on the way there, it is possible to make change. It is possible to do good. It took me playing through the Solstice ending to realize why I love this game as much as I did, and it's because I relate to it. Starting in a dark world and still finding joy, finding happiness, and finding pleasure just because you're surrounding yourself with the right people, you're doing the right things, you're helping people. That is one of my greatest goals, is to help people. And there's, in my opinion, no better game that tells that story better than One Shot. Just because you actually get to see the fruit of your efforts happen. When you help Silver, she helps you in return. She gives you a piece that you need to get to the tower. When you help everyone else, good things happen. And that's a message that's been lost in this world just because of how dark things are. But that doesn't mean that we as people have to stop believing that message. Yes, things have gotten shittier for people, but there's still joy in helping others. We as a collective need to understand and agree that we're all in this together. We all need to put a piece in. It doesn't have to be the same size, it just has to be a piece. At the end of the road, your happy ending will come due. You just live a life. It is worth living. That is a good life. And I know that that is hard to do with constantly being under stress, pressured by everyone else. But there's good in the world. Enjoy that. Play through One Shot. It is a good game, whether you do 100% the true ending or just an ending. Play through it. Give your word of mouth. Give your opinion. Because this game is powerful. Just watching it doesn't do the game justice. You have to play it. You have to get attached to the characters, to their stories, and this game will make a lot more sense. It will change you. When you play through this game, you will truly understand what connection means, what it means to be there for other people to be there for you. Yes, you may have had experiences where no one was there for you when you were there for others, but trust me, putting that energy out and being there for people will work out in the end. Learn that from Oneshot, and you will enjoy yourself. So, with one last message to end this recording, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying this far. I'm not going to do the YouTuber thing. You already know. However, what I will say is, if you want to help out, if you want to enjoy more of the content, check out the streams. I do multiple streams a week of variety content. Some games more powerful, some games are just chill, and I do hope that you have enjoyed. So, until the next video, which should be coming soon, I hope that you enjoy yourself, have a good life, and let's change the world one step at a time. And hopefully you'll do it with me. So let's go.